In this video, we're going to have a look at the World Economic Forum's strategies in order to create a digital workforce. In order for this to happen, they have outlined 7 different steps, and we will work through each one in turn. So the first step then is strategic workforce planning. So the idea of this is then that the current workforce capabilities will actually be assessed against any future skill requirements. So it's about upskilling our current workforce in order to meet the future needs of what's going to happen. We are therefore going to need to forecast what talent we are going to need in the future in order to align with our workforce development that match strategically with our business goals. So a prime example of this then would be if a manufacturing firm was to analyse trends in automation and forecasts that 30% of that assembly role is now going to involve technician positions. Ultimately, we are now going to have to begin to plan training programs and recruitment accordingly. In the same way that AI is becoming more and more prevalent, our workforce are going to need to be comfortable with how to use that. It is a very new system to most people. Stage 2 is all about upskilling and reskilling then. So looking at our current staff and current workforce once again, that means if we are going to train them up, we need to develop some targeted programs towards them to actually equip our employees with emerging skills, such as AI, how to deal with data analytics, what is cybersecurity and how to handle it, what about digital literacy. In order for this to happen, obviously continuous learning is going to be essential for us to remain competitive, but this is also an important ethical guideline, as we can see under professional competence and due care. We need to stay up to date. So, for example, if a retail chain was to launch a digital academy in order to teach employees skills in e-commerce, data entry, and customer analytics, that would actually help your store staff transition into online support roles as well. Internet sales really have been the backbone of some businesses' success over the last few years. Some have actually only adopted an online retail strategy and have become very successful, as the emerging trend is that society is more likely to do online shopping more often than actually visit their own high streets. The third stage then is to actually form a career pathway design. So it's all well and good creating a program, but actually we need to create clear progression routes which are going to reflect evolving roles and technologies. And I think it's important that our staff actually know what career progression opportunities that they have within the organisation. Otherwise, they are likely just to go elsewhere. So by having this career pathway design, it's going to help to retain talent, which in turn is going to motivate your employees to grow within the organisation, instead of you growing that talent and them going to take that to a competitor. So, for example, a healthcare provider may well map out a digital career ladder for nurses, which will allow them to actually specialise in telemedicine, health informatics, or AI-assisted diagnostics through modular training. Stage 4 then, we're halfway there. It's all about retaining that strategy. We need to think of ways in which we can actually keep our own talent in-house. So one way of doing this then is about implementing the policies that foster employee engagement, well-being and purpose, and really acting on that. So that retention is going to be critical as competition for digital talent when it intensifies. And it is the future. Everything's going digital. It's the way of the world now. So, for example, if a tech startup was to offer flexible work schedules, mental health days, and internal mobility programs to keep its digital talent engaged, that could in turn reduce your turnover, which is a benefit for everyone. Step 5 then is all about integrating technology for human enhancement. So this is all about using technology to amplify human capabilities. The most important thing to note here is we are not replacing humans at this stage. And I would like to think that that would never become the norm. Focus is totally on collaborating your systems whereby humans and machines can work together in order to produce the most efficient procedures and enhance overall productivity. So, for example, a logistic company who equips drivers with AI-powered route optimization tools and real-time traffic alerts improves delivery efficiency without replacing your human judgment, because both are working hand in hand. The next step of the journey then is all about building digital literacy across all levels. So it is important to ensure that digital fluency is embedded throughout the organisation, from frontline workers right up to executives. This is going to allow for access to innovation and reduce any resistance to change. But it is important that everybody is on the same wavelength and on the same page with the same thoughts. So, for example, a government agency may well roll out basic digital training for all staff, from clerks to senior officials, which will cover cybersecurity, cloud tools, and virtual collaboration platforms. Now, it's important that even those top executives do that as well, because they do need the training. They are going to be involved in using this system, and they do need to be aware of the risks faced with this in order to be able to use the platform to its fullest. And the last stage then is all about fostering a culture of adaptation. So we want to encourage agility, experimentation, and an openness to change. So a culture which embraces transformation is going to be key to thriving in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. There's no doubt about that. The people at the top of the game are going to be the people who are embracing technological advancements. So, for example, a financial services firm who encourages their employees to experiment with new fintech tools are going to share learnings in weekly innovation huddles and pivot quickly once their market conditions change, because they have the technical know-how as to how to do that quickly, and the staff feel confident with how to approach that topic.